From the day your ghost woke you, your light has been our beacon. You defended this city from the worst the darkness sent against us. Atheon, Crota, Oryx, Axis. When you are called on, you will do it again.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Destiny. It's been about a week now since the first Twitch reveal stream where they introduced us some of what we can expect from Destiny's final live event, Age of Triumph. If you missed that first live stream, I highly recommend giving it a watch, or you can check out my breakdown video by hitting the eye in the upper right hand corner or clicking the link in the description box below. As I mentioned in that video, Age of Triumph is also acting as Destiny 1's final content update. And while we don't know all the details yet, there are a few things we know for sure. So in this video, I want to touch on a few of those things in a little bit more detail and give you my thoughts on what it means for the game. First up, I want to touch on the content coming to Age of Triumph. Now again, we don't know all of the details of the event, but there's a good chance that we will not be getting any more story missions, strikes, or crucible maps. When people compare this to 2016's April update, which introduced a new story mission, strike, and not to mention the Challenge of the Elders, you will of course be disappointed. In fact, I've seen a good amount of negative reactions on social media, and even right here in the comments of my channel. Contents that suggest that Bungie has either run out of ideas or can't give us anything better. The truth of the matter is that most of Bungie is working on the full Destiny sequel coming later this year. In fact, they are so tight on extra resources that other studios have been brought in to help, so it's understandable that the live team for Destiny 1 is not very large. It doesn't mean that they can't come up with something better, it just means that all of their creative energy is going into making the sequel the best possible game it can be. And honestly, I prefer this decision and fully support it. I love Destiny 1 to pieces, and I can't even imagine what is in store for us later this year. The current team is working with what resources they have, and it looks like they decided that spending the majority of their time updating old raids was the best direction to take for this final update. And that sort of leads to the next topic. For Age of Triumph, the live team is bringing the old raids into Year 3 by introducing a third difficulty to Vault of Glass, Crota's End, and King's Fall at 390 light. Not only that, but they are implementing some fixes that used to allow certain parts of raids like Crota's End to be cheesed or skipped, and they are also making some parts of Vault of Glass less tedious, like shortening the time it takes to clear the confluxes in the Oracle phases leading up to the Templar. This will hopefully get us to play the raids as they were intended by the designers. And as far as pacing goes, I think Wrath of the Machine is a perfect yardstick to use as far as striking that perfect balance of challenge and clear time. Man, they really nailed it with Wrath of the Machine, didn't they? Such a good raid. Anyways, those raids are being released one at a time every Tuesday starting March 28th, with Crota's End, then Vault of Glass after that, and finally King's Fall. The raid being released that week will be featured in the Director, and completing the featured raid for that week will grant you the new Age of Triumph gear. Now that does lead to one question that I have in reference to what they're calling the update. They are presenting it as a live event, but live events usually last a few weeks and are then over. We don't know if Age of Triumph itself will have an end, but it's possible that it won't, and that Destiny 1 will forever be in Age of Triumph mode, which I think would be kinda cool. Anyways, moving on to the next major talking point, and that is the one of light level. The light cap will not be raised in Age of Triumph and will stay at 400 light. I'm actually a big fan of this. I think light increases are only justified when there's major new content, like a new raid or a new arena activity. Age of Triumph isn't really about that. Still, there are plenty of people upset about this, but I think most of those people are really just upset about the lack of genuinely new content, which I went over a little bit earlier. Besides, I honestly feel like the increases in light were starting to feel a little arbitrary while still at level 40. It was starting to become a bit of a chore to infuse everything up, and it's the last thing I would have wanted for this update. Now that brings up an entire conversation about whether there is actually even a point to increasing level caps in games, which we'll perhaps save for a different video. Finally, I wanted to touch a bit on Eververse. Now, of course, we don't know anything yet, but considering the news that Bungie has given us about the sequel in regards to Eververse items not carrying over, I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't introduce anything new to buy. Now, they may face a lot of criticism, as unfounded as I think it would be, if they introduce new emotes and mystery bags a few months before the sequel comes out. I personally know that when I'm paying for microtransactions, that they are for that game. and I never expect my strange dance to carry over. Now, of course, we don't know for sure, but from what we've seen so far, all of the new gear and ornaments look like they're rewards for completing featured weekly rituals. But of course, we may need to wait another week until we fully learn about that. In short, especially with the inclusion of Daybreak strikes, whatever they actually may end up being, and elemental primaries possibly coming back into the sandbox, this update looks to be designed to let us have an epic and triumphant finale to our Destiny journey, celebrating our powers and weapons to their fullest degree, allowing us to part ways in a few months with the fondest of memories. Anyways, we have the weekly rituals reveal stream coming tomorrow, and you can expect a full breakdown right here on this channel. Until then, let me know what you think of light level increases, Eververse transactions, and the like in the comments below. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe for more Destiny content. And I will see you all next time. Only this time, it seems we'll have some of the new bosses from Challenge of Elders thrown into the mix. It would be really awesome if they managed to combine Challenge of the Elders with Skolas' Revenge somehow, but we'll just have to wait until Wednesday to learn more.